Hi everybody, my name's Anthony and Adan's asked me to make a bit of a video just to talk to you all about why I've decided to learn Welsh. If you're watching this video, I assume you've got an interest in learning Welsh as well, which is incredible. It's brilliant that you're even taking the steps to come to the website and watch these videos. So well done you. Why did I decide to learn Welsh? Let's start with that. So I started going out with a Welsh girl who's a Welsh speaker, and her family were Welsh speakers. So to me, it was quite an important step to take to make that commitment to the family to say, I want to learn your language of home and be part of your lives. So for me, that was quite important. Also, I think it's the language of Wales. Yes, Wales is an English-speaking country, but a lot of people here do speak Welsh. And I think that's really important to show your commitment to the country if you're going to live here. And so that was my motivation. It also started a bit before that too. Before I met Emma, quite a few years before I met Emma, I came to Cardiff University. And like a lot of people that come across the bridge from England, you start noticing the road signs and you start hearing a bit of the language. And I thought, wow, this is really cool. This is a bilingual country. This is great. This is, I've never experienced this before. So I thought, how cool would it be to learn Welsh? Unfortunately, at the time, my thoughts never turned into actions. So when I then finally met Emma, I had the motivation to build on that dormant dream of learning Welsh, and so that's why I decided to do it. How did I do it? Well, initially I had signed up for a course with the Welsh for Adults group who works through Cardiff University in Cardiff. But before that started, after I'd already signed up, I sat next to someone in our work corporate induction, and she happened to be going out with a Welsh-speaking bloke as well, and she told me about this website and this app called Say Something in Welsh, and she said, it's been great, she's learnt loads from it, and I thought, okay, let's have a look. And so I came and I had a look at Say Something in Welsh, and it's incredible. It's such a good method, and it gives you that tangible sense of actually learning something. By the end of your first lesson, you're forming sentences, and by the fifth lesson, you've got loads of vocabulary. It's such a good method to learn with. I think it gives you a very natural way of speaking Welsh. So it teaches you. They use their own accents. They don't try and put on any other accent. The people use the accents they use naturally, which is great. So that helps you with your own accent, and it helps you listening to other people. And it's such a constructive way to learn a language. It teaches you real life human sentences, which is what you want from a language, really. Because at the end of the day, we learn language to communicate with people. And so, over the time as well, over the time of learning, of using Say Something in Welsh, I started speaking to Emma and her family in Welsh, and initially it was very painful. You're slow and you're trying to get your words out and everything else. But gradually, the more practice and the more exposure I had to that, the easier and easier it became. And within that first year, I decided to go on the boot camp that's run by Say Something in Welsh. So I went to Tryssaeth, where Iestyn runs the boot camp, which is in West Wales. And basically, the boot camp is a week-long experience where you're only allowed to speak Welsh. So no other language is allowed. You just got to, if you don't know the word, you've got to describe it. You can mime and you can do everything else, but you've just got to do your best to not revert back to your English. It's an incredible experience. I didn't know what to expect from it to start off with, but it was far more like a holiday than I ever thought it was going to be. Don't get me wrong, there were moments of being very tired and finding it quite draining because you have to constantly think in this other language. But the results have been brilliant. I felt that my understanding's accelerated, and my confidence to speak to people has accelerated. And so, yeah, since then, I've even been able to use the language in work, which I'll get onto in a bit as well. So, yeah, I started with the Say Something Welsh app, worked my way through the material that was available at the time, and then I went on the boot camp. And actually, the boot camp was so good, I decided to go back the next year as well. So, yeah, a really, really enjoyable week. So if you get the chance, definitely go on it. So Aran asked me to talk a bit about how I feel now that I can speak Welsh. And I have to say that it's an incredible experience to speak Welsh to Welsh speakers. They obviously it is a minority language in a sense, and so they don't necessarily expect everybody to speak Welsh. So when you show that effort and you show that you've made the commitment to the country and to the people to learn their language, the look on their face when they hear you speaking Welsh it's worth every bit of effort. They appreciate it so much, and you really then feel part of those communities. You really feel welcome. Not that you wouldn't anyway, but you feel even more welcome now that you're speaking their language, and they can be themselves around you because they can speak their mother tongue. And I think that's it's just well worth everything. It's just incredible. I mentioned earlier that I use it in work too. So I work in the health service on a ward where people are either awaiting surgery or they've had surgery. So that's quite a scary place. It's scary in whatever language you're doing it in. And when I do have those Welsh-speaking patients, I do speak to them in Welsh, and I've had a lot of really positive feedback from them that they feel much more comfortable that they can speak their mother tongue in what is a very daunting and scary situation, like being on a ward in a hospital. So the fact that I can do that, it fills you with pride, and it's something that it's just incredible to be able to do. So yeah, I really feel. The other thing is as well, I really feel at home now in Wales. Wales is an English-speaking country, like we all know, but if you can also speak Welsh, it's just you get that extra bow to your string, that extra element of the culture of the society. I mean, I can listen to Radio Cymru and Welsh music as well as English music, and you can go to the Eisteddfod in English and you can go to the Eisteddfod in Welsh, and I have to say the Eisteddfod, when you understand Welsh, is a much different experience. They're all uniquely Welsh things, and to be able to then engage in them and be part of it is just something. It's quite hard to describe. It's superb. It's a really, really positive feeling. So what you guys are doing by choosing to learn Welsh is incredible, and I think that your commitment to it is just fantastic. And there will be peaks and troughs in this process. It's not easy learning a language. Say Something Welsh makes it a lot easier, but it's not an easy process. You've got so you will have ups and downs all the way through, but feel rest assured that we've all been through that, and we all know that pain. So just keep at it, dal ati, as they say in Welsh. One thing I would say is that you go through some lessons and you might feel that you haven't grasped everything perfectly, and that might be frustrating. But please, 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 just push on to the next lesson, because the way the method works is actually that thing you were struggling over at one point where you just can't quite get your tongue around it, or you don't feel like it's sitting in your head. A few lessons down the line, and all of a sudden you're saying it without even thinking about it, and it's such an incredible feeling when you get that. And to just push on, because the language will grow inside you as you're exposed to it, as you listen to it on the tracks. So yeah, do keep going. The other thing I'd say is that you'll have loads of questions as you go through. You're learning something completely new, so please do come to the forum and ask those questions, because chances are, if you're thinking it, a lot of other people are thinking it. Also, though, from a slightly selfish point of view, but it's lovely to be able to answer questions for people too, because you get a real buzz from that. And so once you start asking questions, you might actually come across a question that you can answer yourself too, and you'll get a real buzz from that, I promise. So yeah, you're entering an amazing community. The Welsh learning community and the Welsh language community, they're fantastic and they're so welcoming. So please do come along to the forum. It'd be great to see you there. Say hello and just, do your best. So good luck with everything. It's just incredible that you're learning Welsh. So yeah, da iawn ti. Well done you. Anyway, hwyl.